Hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I am here at my dream claim. Yes, my nugget claim. I have some plans today with that old illegal ground sluice and hopefully some nuggets. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. So I am back at the illegal ground sluice. Well, no, it is the ground sluice I found a couple years back that is built straight into the bedrock, concreted in. It had riffles in it. It was a full-blown river ground sluice. If you haven't seen that video, it is the most viewed video on my channel. Go back and check it out. It was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I think I did like 3 videos of removing the ground sluice and finding what decades of river run left in the ground sluice. I wanted to come today and actually clear out more of that, but it's got a lot of big rocks on it. I'm by myself today, so instead I brought my high banker and I am going to do some high banking just above the ground sluice. And I'll explain why I chose that spot in a sec. I have the mini high banker from Goldstream Plaster Supplies, my little small 1-inch pump, all the hoses and everything you need, and I have this divot in the ground here which will act as a perfect tailings facility, settling pond, and it won't let water get back into the river, because here in British Columbia, when you're running a high banker, you're not supposed to let silty water go back to the river. Luckily, this spot right here is perfect with this huge divot right below me that will take all the water that little 1-inch pump can deliver. Also brought the Gold Monster 1000 because this is nugget country, and when I'm done digging through here, I will run the detector over the bedrock and see if there were any nuggets left behind. A lot of people ask me why I don't detect and use the detector to find the gold before I high bank. Most gold here in British Columbia is too small for any metal detector to pick up at any distance. So because I've got like 2 or 3 feet of material that I have to go through before I get to the gold bearing layer, a metal detector would not actually tell me if there were gold down there. That's why I have to run volume through the high banker in order to determine if that has gold. There are huge forest fires, wildfires in the area that are just devastating huge amounts of forest and whole communities. The town right beside where I live, West Kelowna, has already lost hundreds of homes and buildings due to one of the local wildfires. Just devastating. But you can see the smoke in the air. Air quality here in British Columbia right now is awful. And we got word just yesterday that the youth camp my family has taken care of for over 40 years lost one of its bunkhouses to the fire. It ripped right through the camp. The cookhouse is still good, but one of the bunkhouses didn't make it. Very sad. I helped build that thing about 30 years ago. We will rebuild. Okay, that's enough talking. I'm going to explain a bunch of questions people had about the ground sluice later on, but right now I need to find where I'm going to set up my high banker. A bit of an awkward setup. I'm hoping it'll work. I'm hoping that the weight of the water here doesn't pull it over. We'll see in a second. The pump is just priming right now. I see water coming. I hear the water coming. And I think I'm at a level still, but I'll fix that in a second. Here comes the water. And yes, the water's going down one side. I'll have to fix that. And I'll have to straighten out the hose. Either the hose is pinched or, oh, there we go. I heard the, it primed. Way at a level. Nothing a couple rocks can't fix. Nice and level. Nice angle. Don't have too much of a downward slope to it. Easy to dig. Lots of room for tailings. Water will go there for hours. Well, I've been going for an hour. I think it's time for my first break. I've got quite the crevice being cleared out here. I've put a lot of material through the box, but it's mostly been overburdened. Anyhow, I need a drink. And I need to give my tailings facility here a little moment to soak down. I see it's actually gone down into the second pond, and I just need to give it time to filter through the gravels. And the water is settling out really nicely. Over here in the first pond, it's still a bit murky, but it's got time to settle. It flows through a bunch of gravels here, filters out. By the time it gets to the second pond, it's actually fairly clean. That's fairly clean water. And then it goes through the gravels there and filters out before it gets, you know, eventually down underground back to the creek. Nice and clean. That's what they're worried about, is silty water getting back into our pristine, clear rivers. And this is doing a great job of filtering that out. And this is where it's actually, you know, seeping through the gravels back into the river. And you can see how clean and clear that water is. No silt going back in. And that is exactly what's required of us. No silt ending back up in the rivers. Well, let's see if there's anything in that box. No visible nuggets. Gold hog mats. Nice and clean. Have a look together. What does an hour high banking at Dream Claim look like? Oh, I see a piece of gold. Oh, I see two, three. That's what an hour high banking at the Dream Claim looks like. Three big pieces, a couple little ones. There is no fine gold at the Dream Claim. Well, very, very little. Look at that, 2 or 3 specks and then 3 big chunks. Loving it. I do apologize if sometimes the water noise here overwhelms my, speaking. That river is actually very, very loud. Let's get up the close-up cam and see what that gold looks like. There we are. I'm loving it. These 2 big ones here are obviously river run very well. And then that guy there, you can still see the leaf pattern of the leaf gold where it was broken out of the rock. It is so fresh out of the rock, you can still see the crystal pattern in it. I would say that one was carried down river inside a rock, and then the rock broke at a later date, freeing up the gold. These guys, the rocks broke a long time ago, and they've been tumbling down the river for a while. Well, that's exciting. Let's go back for more. The water still needs a little bit more time to settle down in, So let me explain what I'm doing and why. Why right there? Well, I said earlier that it's partly because I have a natural tailings pond right here. However, there's more to it than that. There are stories on this claim, just down there, of crevices like this being cleared out with huge amounts of gold in them. There's one story, and they nicknamed the crevice there the slot machine. They cleaned out the crevice and they got 7 ounces of gold out of a crevice like that. My thought is there's a really nice looking crevice here. It even still has some gravels that, that might be worth looking at. But because there's a crevice there, and because I see bedrock here, bedrock there, there's obviously a crevice here, and possibly there is a slot in the bottom containing a lot of gold. You'll notice what I was cleaning out was a slot down here, but I believe that is a boulder I'm sitting on and not bedrock. So I'm going to continue working over until I hit that bedrock and see if down in between the two is a slot. Now, the stories of the slot machine say that it was not the first crevice they went to. They went to crevice after crevice after crevice that were basically barren, and then they found that one that had 7 ounces in it. So, I'm not saying every crevice I find is going to be loaded, but you can't get that 7-ounce crevice unless you do the work looking at multiple crevices. And here's one that is easy to do with the high banker.
And of course it's got 7 ounces in it, of course.
And that does look really intriguing. I've also identified 2 crevices, one right there and one right here, that when the water goes down a bit, this low spot will be another beautiful tailings facility that I can high bank directly into out of both crevices. I did pick a 1 gram nugget out of that one over there, but these both look very intriguing. And there is kind of a third right there, and it'll probably get dealt with too. I might not be able to discharge into here, but I can discharge over there, that once that water goes, well, even right now I could do it, it'll soak into those gravels, no problem. I am very, very careful, conscious, and verbal about following the rules here in British Columbia because everyone sees my videos. If I do anything wrong, then everyone that sees my videos thinks that's okay to do. And I have many conversations with the ministry. Every time I sort of bend a rule a little bit, they let me know that, Dan, you gotta be careful because too many people see what you do.
So that is why I am very careful about what I do and very, very conscious about telling people that I'm doing things right.
Well, I think we've soaked in enough that I don't run the risk of overflowing. With murky water, it's gonna stay filtering. Let's get digging. I haven't been recording this run at all. I need some video evidence that I'm actually working here.
I've not seen anything in the box, but if there's anything, it'll be big and it'll be up at the top. There are big nuggets at this site, but I do worry a little bit about my 3/8 cut plate grizzly there not being big enough to let some of the bigger nuggets through. I have been watching very carefully, and I will run the metal detector over that, but it is a worry for sure. I'll take a drill bit and make those holes a little bit bigger. Anyway, back to digging.
Well, the pump just stopped. And I hadn't run everything through yet, so it'll be a messy, messy cleanup.
Probably means that the pump is out of gas, which also means I have to walk back up to the quad to get more gas. That was a good run. I got some stuff down out of the very bottom of that crevice, but I also ran a lot of overburden. Let me stand back here for a second. Woo. So I was running down that crevice there, just going, basically until I couldn't dig any farther down. And I ran all that through. And then I just realized that all of that overburden is going to have to go if I want to get into that crevice. So I just stood up and started shoveling overburden through, which means I put a lot of material through the box, but it's kind of mid-grade material. Low-grade material, actually, that overburden. Though I did get a half dozen good shovelfuls from the very bottom. Let's see what it comes out at.
Save that for the next run. Oh, won't be able to see anything in there. It is
definitely loaded with material. Because of the way it shut down, no, that was not a nugget. Now I am leaving the gold from the last run in the pan and putting the new stuff on top so I get to see it all at once. Don't worry, I will not lose those. What's new? What's new in the pan? There's the nugget. Those are the previous ones. Oh, just a couple of big flakes. Small pickers. There we go, 3 big flakes on that run. So the 3 big pieces are from the first run. The 3 small pieces are from the second run. I'm still getting gold. I'm still gonna be digging. So the first run definitely had the bigger gold, which definitely makes the more volume, the more weight, the better the gold take in the first run, for sure. Let's go get some more gas, do run number 3, see where it takes us. Well, the tailings are still filtering beautifully through the rocks. So while I take a break here and get my energy up to go up and get some gas, I have to answer a bunch of questions I had about this illegal ground sluice. Yes, right now, my tailings pond. Now, if you didn't see the video, go back and check it out. It is my #1 watched long-form video with almost 10 million views now, finding the illegal ground sluice. Yes, they concreted in iron riffles into the bedrock right below these rocks here to catch gold. My theory is they were actually dumping with an excavator or something material over the edge and running it through the ground sluice. Now, when I did that video, 10 million people have a lot of questions. One of the common questions I had is, why is it illegal? Well, it's illegal because here in BC, we have lots and lots of gold, lots and lots of mining. And because of that, we have lots and lots of people trying to push things to get the gold. They don't want a little bit of gold, they want a lot of gold. And in our history, a lot of people have done a lot of things that are very damaging to the environment to get that gold. And because of that, the Ministry of Mines here in British Columbia has made a lot of rules to try to protect our environment. They want people still to find the gold, but they want to do it in a safe way that protects the environment. One thing a lot of people did back in history was actually dig up the entire river and put right in the very bottom sluices, concreted in, or wooden sluices, or big troughs down the middle, and then they would go and push down the hillsides into the river and let the river sort the material and get the gold. Sometimes they would use great big water cannons hydraulicking down into these ground sluices. Well, the ministry, the government, the people decided that was very damaging to the environment. So they put in a rule, put in many rules. They put in one rule that says you cannot modify the creek bed in any way. You can do things up in the hills away from the active waterway, but you can't modify the creek bed. So you can't build the ground sluice into the creek bed. And that's the rule that these people broke when they built this ground sluice in here, is no, you cannot change the creek bed and put a ground sluice into what is an active waterway. There's one question. I'll answer more as the video goes on. That looks like another really nice looking crevice that I could someday go and check out. Big cobbles on top of it. Lots of big cobbles. Means that was the river at one point, for sure. And there seems to be a great crevice right underneath all those big cobbles. That one danger rock would definitely have to come. But, oh yeah, yeah. Gold. Okay, off to get some gas. Hey, look, it's a gas can. Now, I'm thinking I didn't have as much gold in the last run because I ran so much overburden. So I have a lot of overburden to get rid of. I have two choices. I can shovel it and throw it on the ground, or I can shovel it and throw it through the sluice. Hello, little spider. Anyhow, it doesn't take much more effort to throw it through the sluice, though I don't think it had much in it. 3 flakes. Maybe I'll throw every second shovelful through, and then every second on the ground until I get down to the good stuff.
Well, I shut down a little early this time. Look at that smoke back there. Isn't that disgusting? I shut down a little early this time
because I've identified a different material. There seems to be a layer down there that anything below that layer is sandier and more packed. Everything above is dustier and mishmash. So that's probably the difference between the slough overburden and the river run stuff below. So I want to go and see what just the river run stuff has. Means I have to clean out the box. Oops, I guess I could have run that through.
I sucked up all the gold because I want to see what just the overburden holds. See if the overburden holds anything at all.
See if it's just waste of time to run it through the sluice.
Okay, this is strictly overburden. Nothing but overburden. My guess is it's not going to have anything in it. What's that? Chunk of lead or something. No gold. Well, some funky chunk of lead, but no gold in the overburden. Let's try the bottom of the crevice now. Now another question I had about this illegal ground sluice is, Dan, if it's illegal to modify the creek bed, isn't it illegal for you to remodify the creek bed? Well, the ministry actually thanked me for removing the garbage from the active waterway. The metal frames that were in the bottom were rusting. There was plastic down there. It was a mess in an active waterway. So no, the ministry was quite happy that I removed the illegal ground sluice. And no, it wasn't illegal for me to do that. A lot of people also said, if it's an illegal ground sluice, you can't have the gold that's in it. Well, no, it was okay for me to actually deal with the gold as I was removing the grates. It was high and dry. It wasn't in the active waterway, currently active waterway. And as I removed the grates, yes, I panned the material. Yes, I got some gold. Go back and check out the video. But no, again, it wasn't illegal for me to do that. And again, the ministry saw what I was doing and in the end actually thanked me for what I did.
And yes, I was allowed to keep the gold.
And no, I did not put the grates back in as soon as I finished the video.
It's flooded right now, but when the water goes down, you can see just bare concrete. I did not put it back in place.
Now this run is going to be a bit slower because I'm just going for the best sandy stuff I find in the bottom of these crevices.
But let's hope it's a whole lot better quality. Less quantity, more quality.
I am on some juicy, juicy ground deep down here.
But I'm getting like half a shovel full each time, if that. But it's nice looking ground. And you can see it's not slough. But that's how much I get each time. Well, I probably only put about 10 pans worth through the box, but I cleared a doozy of a pocket down there. That's bedrock on all sides of it. To get any further up, I have to clear more overburden, which would fill in my hole, which is unfortunate. But I'd love to see if there's anything in that box. That was a doozy of a pocket. And I was in there with my hands scraping the bottom. The next step would be to get the vacuum and vacuum out the bottom, which I might do. I have that here today.
That was good looking material I put through.
Oh, I hope there's a nugget in there. I really hope there's a nugget.
Let's check it out.
Now, I'm not sure if I was thinking properly. I put the snuffer bottle back into the pan so I'd see it all at once. But now we have to decide what was from before and what was from this run. Okay, I wasn't like thinking there. Before we had the 3 big pieces and 3 little flakes. Well, they were big flakes. 3 pickers and 3 flakes. And now we have to decide all of the nuggets we found this run, which ones are which. That was some juicy looking ground putting through there. Okay, let's have a look. Gold, gold, gold everywhere! But no more nuggets! No! There's definitely more gold from that pocket, but the 2 big pieces I got in the first run are still the 2 biggest pieces. There's 1 more picker, 2 more pickers, I'd say. A piece of lead is annoying. So I think that and that were the original 2 big ones, plus that funky looking one. We've got this picker that's new, and 1, 2, 3, 4 big flakes. So we had 1 picker and 1 flake in that pocket.
Isn't it crazy that we find all these big pieces and yet there's almost no powder gold on this claim? Like, look at that, we got 5 specks and 8 pickers, one of which I'd almost call a nugget. But that's what the dream claim is known for. It is a nugget claim. You get big gold or nothing.
Well, now what? If I do another run, it means I have to knock down all that overburden. That's a lot of overburden. Maybe I'll go investigate and see if there's something else over there that shows promise.
Well, there's still a pan worth of material in the bottom of that pocket. It's gonna take a lot of hand work to pull it all out of there, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really work and get everything out of the bottom of that pocket, do 1 more pan, which means this time I better snuff up the gold so I can really see what's there. And I think I have 1 more pan worth in me too. So let's go see what it holds. Well, there's lots more there, but it's behind a yard of overburden.
My 1 more pan ended up being about a 1/4 pan.
I have cleared everything out of the bottom of that hole that my hands could possibly get. Now it would require the vacuum or something like that to get any more.
Considering I went through 10 pans and I got 1 picker, 10 pans worth in the high banker. I got 1 picker and 1 flake. My hopes aren't too high for that pan.
I know, don't be a negative Nelly. Of course there's a nugget in it. It is getting hard to even breathe out here. This smoke is so thick. I wonder if that's why I'm so pooped after half a day, or if it's just I'm out of shape.
The very, very, very bottom of that pocket. Let's see what it holds.
Come on, nugget.
Wah, wah, wah. Nothing. Not even a speck. I guess most of that was just broken up bedrock.
Well, it sure is good looking stuff over there.
The crevice I'm working is a transition between that hard bedrock and that slaty bedrock. And right between the two is the crevice that I'm working. But there's a good chance that crevice has been worked in the past, especially considering it's right beside the illegal ground sluice, where those people obviously put a lot of effort in to that spot.
So I pulled out the metal detector to go over the tailings.
Couple of iron signals, no gold signals. Couple little iron signals. This rock here, it sets off as iron. Checked all around, down in the hole, up where I cleared off, found a big nail over there, nothing too exciting. Started checking out all around, and then I got this. Straight on gold, up in that little gravel deposit. I'm gonna dig that out and find out if I've got a little piece of gold up there. And I'm just gonna take the whole gravel deposit here, put it all in my pan, and pan it out. See what it turns out to be. Now, unfortunately, it went into my pan too easy. It was up in the gravels and not sitting on bedrock. Still straight on gold. Up in high gravels usually means tinfoil. Though how tinfoil will get up there is beyond me. Well, let's go find out. See if I'm foiled again. Is that it? Is that a chunk of steel? It may have been. Although it was a non-ferrous signal. So more likely aluminum. There it is. Foiled again. Little chunks of aluminum foil. Or aluminum something. There's also a little nail of some sort. And a piece of sheet metal. Probably aluminum or copper or something because it was coming in as non-ferrous. Noodle. Look at that crack back in there. Oh, there's so much juicy stuff out here. So much. The problem is that overburden could be miserable. The color on my camera seems to be really weird today. I wonder if this smoke in the air is making my camera try hard to make the colors right, and it just can't do it because everything is gray. Well, this smoke is really starting to affect me. So let's time warp home right now and have a good look at that gold.
There's the gold for the day. Let's get a real close-up look. Not too bad. Definitely not the greatest take ever, but it was fun. I learned a lot. I had a great day, and we got some gold. And because everyone is wondering, I know that much gold is 0.61 of a gram. A half-day high banking should give you more than 0.61 of a gram, but hey, that's prospecting for you. I'm happy with that. Next time, it'll be more. And because I know people are always interested, the biggest piece here is 0.285.
Well, at least I found one nugget. It's not a lot, but it keeps me coming back for more. I had a great day. I hope you enjoyed watching my video high banking at the illegal ground sluice. If you did, please leave me that thumbs up. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, I hope I earned your subscription today. And a big thanks to everyone for watching, especially my patrons. Because of the support of my patrons, I get to make these weekly episodes of Dan Hurd Prospecting. Hope you're all having a great day, and hopefully it's not smoky where you're at. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.